Good morning. Welcome to OG Foundation, capital of the Sovereign State of Velodium. I am Sovereign not of Velodium, and this is the start of this episode. I am going to check on the chickens. It is the last day of Vangari's survival challenge. He's got today and then tonight, and then I'll be getting him tomorrow if he can survive. It's a rainy one today. You're out here, boys! I'm still not entirely sure how I'm going to catch Vangari if he survives and bring him back, but I plan on Dunigar being next. You out here, boys? I think it was yesterday they came up over this rise. Oh, good morning! Oh, there's a turkey over there. Oh, good morning! You good boys. And the turkeys are there too. All right. Glad to see you, boys. Here, have some breakfast. Chilling in the rain. It's your last day and your last night there, Vangari. You're at the halfway mark, Pelepaneche, or just past it. So I think, like, tomorrow morning what I'll do is I'll bring Dunigar with me, and Dunigar's survival experience will start. And if Vangari is still alive tomorrow, I'll try to catch him while he's eating, and then I'll bring him back, swap him out with Dunigar, and Vangari will have a life protected in the Citadel, having passed his survival challenge. So this is the result of the attempt of filling this hole with insulation blocks, and then 4 batches of Aircrete, and then the Aircrete ended up making the styrofoam things buoyant. I thought they had similar buoyancy, but the Aircrete is heavier than the styrofoam panels, and so it pushed them up, and now the high part of the styrofoam panel is like 3 to 4 inches higher. I had it level, but now it's like, so that this would have ended up in a level plane. But now what's going to happen is that whole corner will just step up, maybe like 6 inches or something less than a foot, and I might put a panel on top. But basically, first I'm going to do one more batch of Aircrete. There's also some water that's collected in there. What I did, because the first Aircrete is sealed, there's a drain pipe right there, which is actually dripping. Because the Aircrete is permeable, but it permeates very slowly, so there's some standing water in here in a couple of different places. I don't know if you can see the reflection there, but there's some in there, and there's some water in there standing, actually like several inches of it. So that will end up draining out, and how it will work with the additional Aircrete, I don't know. I'm just going to pour more Aircrete on top, I think, try to work it in, and let the water drain out slowly over time, basically. So going to prep for Aircrete now. I was having a tough time getting the foam down into that mix, but hopefully that's all good. Oh, and of course now it starts raining. Lovely. But it didn't disappear this time. Means done. Oh no. There's a bee. Oh no, save the bee. Save the bee, save the bee. bee got right into the Aircrete. I think I saved it. Alright, well that's good. Good result. Okay, I'm done. So this little hut thing over it. And it's not really pretty or anything. But I think it'll do just fine. And I haven't really decided how I'll resolve this corner. But I basically won't proceed until I get more materials, including spray foam, which is very necessary. Resupply. I got back from the Home Depot resupply by 8 a.m. and now it's time for a chicken swap. So last night I had separated Duniger, who's next up in line for his wilderness survival experience, and I put him in this pack cage here, and he stayed here for the night. So I'm bringing him out. So regardless of what happens, that's starting today for him. And then if Vangari is alive, I'll try to catch him, and then he'll come back, and Duniger will go out with Pele Peniche. We'll see what how it all goes. Hey boys! This is the furthest you've met me over here before. You want to come all the way on this side of the gate? So proud of you, Vangari. It's your last day. Woo! Good boys. Come on over here. You hungry, boys? Oh, I feel like that's pretty symbolic, crossing the gate. Okay, so now for the tricky part, I gotta catch Vangari. So, that quickly became a traumatic experience, unfortunately. I did get Vangari, and I did put Duniger out, but unfortunately, Pele Peniche got all traumatized and ran away over there, so he didn't even get his breakfast. And I let Duniger out. And so hopefully they get back together, but this is kind of a sad and tragic moment of this, of Pele Peniche really bonding with Vangari, now Vangari being removed, and Duniger starting his. He didn't get his breakfast. It's just so, it's sad, and Vangari is not happy about it, and he's hungry, but when he gets back to the other chickens, he'll have a change of heart. Oh my gosh, this is really rough. Kelly's over there in the usual spot. Duniger has gone this way, pretty far away. I'm only making matters worse, so I'm bringing Vangari back. Unfortunately, Pele Peniche did not get his breakfast and did not unite with Duniger, so that was kind of a failed exchange for those two, unfortunately, but hopefully they recover and we'll bring Vangari back. Vangari is back! Chasing the girls right away. Love you, Vangari. You good boy. Proud of you. Vangari's been hanging out over here, right outside the living room window. Seems like it's a lot to take on for him to adjust. From being out there with Pele Peniche, and now he's back here, and there's other roosters that are bossing him around. He's a good boy. So Thursday morning, this is how the Aircrete thing turned out. It slumped a bit in the back where the water kept kind of like going down into the permeable stuff. And so I'm going to use all of these. I keep all of the little insulation scraps and foam kind of scraps. So I'm going to fill the rest of the gaps with those. And then I'll just spray foam them into place. It doesn't have to be like perfect. At that point, we're like 3 feet from the nearest, 2 to 3 feet from the nearest place that actually needs to be insulated. The insulation is so thick on that far corner. But I just want to fill the gaps, because then I'm going to come in with, well actually I haven't decided if I'm going to go straight remesh right over this and mortar that, or if I'm going to put in like one of these panels and then like step it up even higher. Because if I don't add a panel, it's going to be kind of weird how it's like sloped up there, and it's going to be so obviously not flat. And so I got to choose what's better, whether to add like a step or to have it not be level. Before the spray foam. So I was hearing a solitary rooster sounding off over here. Came to investigate. I was thinking that Duniger maybe made his way back here, but it's Vangari. He's been like, he's hanging out here by himself, sounding off on the edge of the territory. I was just feeding him some plum pits. I eat most of it and then I throw him the pits, or the chickens in general, so we eat together. But this is actually kind of an ideal role, an ideal niche for Vangari. unfitting for his name to kind of be the vanguard on the edge of things, and if any predator comes, they're going to be coming for him first. Good boy. So I've decided to just leave it at a slope rather than at a step, because ultimately, since I want water to shed from there, it's not going to be the worst thing, and I think it'll be fine. So I'm just going to get to some water, even though it's about to rain. I've got a little thing here, and I'm hoping for the best. Bhutan's not looking good. It was all laid out in the water feature, so I picked him up and brought him in here. Still alive, but not looking so good. I don't know what's wrong. No, Vengari's out beyond the wall. What are you doing, buddy? You calling for your brother? I feel like that's the only thing you could be doing. Why don't you come back in here? You're on the wrong side of the wall now. Oh man, today's like a day of heartbreak. The fish and the chickens, and Vengari doesn't know exactly what to do, it seems. I spent a good bit of time with Vengari, and I was able to lead him back into the courtyard. And then he made his way into the citadel, got some food. And some of the other roosters, especially his brother's Cass, and some of the other ones aren't too pleased with him. So he's still kind of like a loner, but I think the hardest part of his transition of returning is over. I think he was mourning his brother Pele Peniche and his lifestyle out there with those geese girls and his own territory and everything. But he's happy to be back. Bhutan moved to a different part of the tank. Hanging in the air. Still not looking so good. Here's this corner at the end of the day with one batch of mortar on it. And you can really kind of get to see the shape of this now with the 3 levels kind of side by side there. And I'll just have to mortar the remesh to the walls before I can add a step there so that it doesn't have to be so tall. It's a bit tall now, huh, girl? You can jump down, show us how tall it is. Oh, pretty tall. Vengari is wanting to sleep in this tree. He was just fighting with Latte, who's next up in line for a survival challenge, so they wouldn't break it up. So I grabbed Latte and I put him in there, so I'll bring Latte out there tomorrow morning. And whether there's 1 boy alive or 2 boys or none or whatever, Latte will join them tomorrow morning. And you can see Vengari's got a bit of blood on him. But I might just let him stay in the tree this one night. It's Friday morning. I'm taking Latte here out to the boys. Not sure if they're together, if they're alive, what the deal is. And it turns out there's horses right there, so it's gonna get a little bit confusing here. I'm here at the normal chicken spot, and the horses are following me, and it's making this very difficult. Relax. So they know I've got a little bit of grain, which they probably want, even though it's chicken grain. Hey, leave the chicken alone. And this is gonna be hard to feed the chickens too. But anyways, looking for Pele. I can't find Pele or Duniger, and the horses are being super annoying, and they won't leave me alone. And I'm just sad, upset, frustrated at this whole situation. So we were able to lose the horses. Couldn't find the other chickens, but I brought Latte out here, put him in the tree, so he knows that this is his spot. Give him some food on the ground. I'm gonna take a wide arc home and look for Duniger and Pele Peniche. And if I can't find either, then Cass will be coming out tomorrow and joining Latte. And then Cass is the last boy in line for his wilderness survival challenge. So good luck, Latte. Hopefully I can find the other boys. But Latte starts his wilderness survival experience on his own. Well, there's no signs of Duniger or Pele. Hopefully they're doing alright, and if they got eaten, rest in peace, they're great boys. Bhutan passed. I buried Bhutan in the living room planter cell. I don't know its gender. I don't know if it ever really appreciated moving out into the bigger water feature. I thought it was a huge upgrade and it would have other fish in a much bigger area, because this is too small for how big Bhutan got. And I think it grew quite a bit once it went out there, but whatever the cause of the death, I don't know. But I think it liked being back in here before it died, and now it's its body will have its resting place, not having to leave the living room here. And I wish its spirit well. So lots of loss today on Friday, realized. But I gotta carry on. So the first step for today for the projects is pinning the remesh up against the walls as best as I can using all the various things I have. And then getting some mortar on it. And then it's going to be difficult to proceed after that. But anyways, that's the first step. So at the end of the day, Friday, I just got one batch pinning the remesh down. And then over here, because all of my kind of slanty things lean against the remesh are kind of like failing level 1. So I decided to focus on extending level 2 over here. And basically have been packing out underneath that level with insulation panels and foaming things into place. And then I got these pieces of the thick insulation in place over here, which create the platform for kind of the extension of this and really help to form this shape. And I'm using the triangles kind of to support those ones, and it's working out really well. And I might get to some mortar on the remesh tomorrow, but I'm just using a lot of spray foam and putting these panels together like a big Tetris game. It is Vangari and Gendel's first night here as a couple. Cass went out this evening. He was the last one to go out. And I didn't find Latte when I put Cass out, but I saw Duniger on my way out. And then I tried to give him food, but he ran away. But of the surviving 7 boys and 1 girl, there's now up to 3 or 4 surviving out there. Gendel, be nice to him. What are you doing, girl? Be nice. Gendel, be nice to your brother. Gendel, hey. Be nice, sweetheart. Be nice. He's your brother. He's gonna look out for you. You be good, girl. Be nice to him. Good girl. Oh my gosh, other news. There's a goat. I have a goat. 2 little goats. We got Han and Benedict. Benny and Han. 2 boys. So I'm heading out to check on the 4 boys. First, Pelipaneche, if he's still alive. Then Duniger, who was seen most recently, other than Cass, who was let out last. And Latte, who was let out the day before. But as of last sighting, they're all scattered because of the horses, unfortunately. But they might still be alive, so I'll keep looking. I went on an extra long loop, couldn't find any. 4 boys lost in the last 2 days. If they're together, they're not in this pasture. I think the horses basically drove them out. And so that really reduces their survival chances. But 1 returned, Vangari returned, and I'll come back here at least tomorrow and keep looking for them, see if there's any sign of them. I just saw a deer. Scared it from over here to over there. That's literally the first deer I've ever seen here on this farm. Ever. It's not like Colorado. It's a lone whitetail. The other fishies seem to be doing just fine, so I don't think there's anything wrong with the water. I think Uton was just kind of stressed or from the move out here, or maybe he was sick. But he was out here like a month, so I don't know. Don't know that much about fish. Just had to not see Uton and the fishes. It's just the fishes now. Look at these 2 cuties. Han is the golden one on the left. He's my goat. So he's gonna live his whole life in Elodium as a landscaper. And he's not gonna get eaten or nothing. He's got a long life here. That cute Han. Look at him. Look how cute he is. And then Benedict on the right, he's got like bluish gray eyes. And he might get eaten. I don't know, but it might just, they might be lifetime residents, landscapers. At least Han is. We'll see about Benedict. Ah, but they're just so cute. So darn cute. These boys look at home on that rock. Look at that, I'll just lay down right on the rock. Silly boys. By Saturday afternoon, probably seems like not a lot has changed, but I've put a whole barrel of waste great stuff foam cans in there, and I got underneath the stairs. I'm almost up to the transition with the stairs. I have to get a certain amount of foam done for the panels in place so that I can apply the 3 pieces of remesh which I would like to apply. So it should be like 1 or 2 lengthwise going that way, and then 1 going this way, which will integrate with the staircase. So I got to get this whole foam situation in this corner, and then get a flat thing on there for there, and then I got to plug those ends and like the corner there and get that all foamed for those pieces. And then my goal for today is to get those 3 pieces of remesh down, and then mix mortar and get mortar onto those 3, and then I'll basically be ready for more materials. The ninjas are back. Now they're targeting this tree for plums, and when they climb out on these branches they end up breaking them. I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of raccoon deterrent solution. There's a lot of prep to get this corner piece in here. Right here, we'll see if it fits. And then I'm pretty close to finishing the prep and getting ready for the remesh. And there's just enough time to get a couple batches of mortar on it if I hurry up. So by the end of the day on Saturday, I was able to get 2 pieces of remesh on. The first going that way, and then the second coming this way. And the second one anchors into all the way into that firewall, as well as it'll anchor into the staircase and really reinforce that top stair. And it's all kind of continuous except for some areas where I will have to cut the foam later. It was still kind of active. And then just made some progress on the remesh around the other one. So it was good progress for the day. Starting to be able to see how that plane extends, working on level 2. You found quite the perch there, Van Guy. You're the only chicken early. Just perch up there. But I remember when you and your siblings were younger, you all climbed up there. Had just hanging out right over the door before heading in. I went for a long walk and cleaned my feet on the wet grass, but no signs of the 4 unaccounted for roosters. So I'm gonna get back to work. Update on this aquaponic feature. Very few mosquito larvae, lots of yellowing leaves on the bamboo. I got a fish sighting, so there's at least 1 fish alive in there. And no signs of the bamboo rooting yet. Look at this. The ninjas left some evidence. When they sat up there and ate the plum up there and then left the pit. When they eat it, they don't eat all the way around the right around the pit. So they leave like little mounds of it, and then when the chickens come out, then the chickens clean it up. But they're clearly I was thinking this sitting space would be good for cats, but apparently the raccoons, or maybe some other critters, I suppose a squirrel might be able to handle one of those, but probably raccoon, I bet. After a batch on Sunday morning, got a bit more coverage, took away some of the kind of blocks that were holding it down, and started to get this one integrated into this side, and that one into that side. Kept a little hole there for a drain. I guess that's where a drain's gonna go. And then just making more progress with the remesh up against the walls in the other areas. I think next up is extending this plane further. But I gotta figure out about the Aircrete. I might do Aircrete today, I'm not sure. I gotta figure it out. So the next step over here is redirecting the water flow from the rain from on top of the entry hall here, which goes down over into that corner, which is what I'm now filling with insulation, and I want to Aircrete. So I need to redirect the water from that drain over to there, that drain, which will send it over to here, and then there's a drain at the bottom of this, what I call the visor, this feature that I'm standing on. So I'm doing that just with a piece of lath down in that valley at a slope. I didn't even put a level on it, but it looks like it slopes correctly. And so now I'll just come through with mortar and fill that up, and it'll also end up being structural and will help to connect that vertical kind of structural wall I added with the original ferrocement dome structure. And then I might, I'll just probably put the rest of that batch over on like another coat over there and kind of covering up some of the remesh. It's a nice and hot day, ready for some order. By the third day, no boys have risen, and so this will be my last time coming out here looking for them. That's not true, I might come again, but as far as like part of my morning routine, it's probably my last time. And there's always a small chance that one of them will make its way back, which happened once, that a chicken made its way back. So if they're out scattered, then they've got their own independent life in nature, destiny in their own hands, and there's a chance that they'll make it back. But most likely, just got to say goodbye to these 4 boys, and happy that Vengari is the one survivor, and him and Gendel join us so that the chicken flock stays at the same size after we lost Elder Verona and to the raccoon, and then we lost Peach to a kind of disaster. So we lost 2, gained 2, and chicken flock is stable. Hey, look who it is. Duggar's alive. So great, I'm so happy to see him. So he was released just on this side of the gate, so he hasn't gone far, but he's been hiding very well, and he was afraid of me. But I was able to just get him some food, so he'll know that that I bring food. And now I got a chicken to come check on every morning. I'm glad he's alive, and I bet at least one of the other boys, I bet, is alive. It's just so great to find them after you think you lost them, and just love it. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Good luck, Deniger. Monday morning, and the ninjas got the last 2 peaches. I only got like 1 or 2 peaches from the tree this year, and then a couple drops. There was a good number, but the ninjas got them all. And then this one is just about out of plums. The ninjas have gotten most of these. There's just a couple left. And then this one, which has been incredibly abundant, this plum tree, I'll probably eat the rest of these plums today. It's got maybe less than 20 plums left. So I've been eating probably 20 to 40 plums a day for weeks. So it's just been amazing. And then this one's been out for a while. But yeah, these ninjas are hitting us hard. But it's like nature teaches the lesson. At some point I'll get night vision cameras in here and be able to, and then I'll get better security, like closing the window. But I think the ninjas are mostly coming over this wall. But at some point I'll have better security to protect the plums, and then in the future it'll protect against all their predators as well, potentially, like raccoons for the chickens and other things. And then over here on Monday morning, you can see probably the majority of the remesh from the level 3, certainly on the sides, and then from this corner, it's like the majority of the remesh is all mortared in now. Majority of this, but there's still some areas that I have to pin it, and some areas are more difficult than others, and if you pull a support too soon, sometimes the metal will pull off of the mortar that's on there. So it's all about kind of timing, and it just takes time. So today what I'm doing is pinning more remesh, and then also working on this drain over here. I'll pull those things out real quick so you can get a look at. So here's that drain with the things that are just kind of like pinning it against the wall removed. And basically, very close to where those 3 holes are, there was 3 holes from the other side, where if I would have poured Aircrete in, they would have came in to this side, and then they would have messed up the drain in the far corner. So by closing this off, that allows me to Aircrete the far side. And then also over here, you can see kind of what this looks like with how the remesh, I got coverage on that last sort of part by the staircase. You can see how the remesh is kind of integrating with the existing staircase, so it'll tie into there really well. There's just going to take many batches of kind of like pinning remesh and getting it all together. It ends up coming down like an inch or 2 right below the stairs, but hopefully it'll all be good. That'll just kind of help if water ends up draining down the stairs to that same drain spot. It'll help it divert there. So I got a bunch of Aircrete all ready to pour up here. I spray foam and duct tape the drain down below. I'm going to try to get it over there. And because I don't have a really good tripod position, I'm going to do it one-handed, try to give you the overly lip shot. Oh boy, look at that. Alright, now I gotta go around and get gloves. So an unusual outcome occurred when it comes to Aircrete, which is that it filled more space than I was expecting this time. So I did something I'm not used to doing, or I'd like to prefer not to do, but I bucketed it out of the valley there and then put some right there. I was thinking I was going to do 2 batches, pour one in the valley, pour one there, but I got so much coverage in the valley that I'm just going to do 1 batch now. And then I fit this next piece of panel in there because I didn't want like the accumulation at the bottom to prevent me from being able to get the next panel into place. So that worked well for the first batch, and then that will get a lot of the lower areas so that I can do more tomorrow without worrying about buoyancy issues. So by the end of the day, Monday, I got a good bit more mortar over here, a lot on the right side to help it slope. There's just one little hole over there that's remaining, but I already started the Aircrete on the other side. But when I do the next batch of mortar, I'll just add a little bit over here. I haven't actually tested it with water or anything. A little bit might collect right there. So I'll just add mortar as needed to the bottom of that, but that's a really solid actual structural element connecting these two. And now up here feels super solid and tied in, even though it's just like maybe an inch of mortar. And then tomorrow I'll do more Aircrete so I can add more there and then more over here, and then I'll have to add panels as well. So hopefully I can figure it out with the spray foam, because I already went through I think I got 19 cans of spray foam at the last resupply. I already went through all of those, and I can only get them at Home Depot because at the local hardware store they're more than twice as much. Talk about price gouging. But that's all for today. Tuesday morning, resupplied with all the spray foam and then the PVC pieces for that drain and all the remesh I require to finish levels 1 and 2. So I'm gonna try for an epic work push today to get level 2 totally capped. Seems even more impossible than the feat last Friday, but I'm going for it. But first I gotta go check on vinegar and do chicken stuff. Tuesday morning, and plum season is over. Peach season is over. However, right on time, we've got apple season. How's about them apples? Sugar, 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 one after the other. There's vinegar. I was about to give up on him. He's got some great cover here with these down trees and all this brush. It's hard to find him. And then I went for another walk to look for Pelipaneche, Latte, and Cass, but couldn't find them. So I basically just gotta say rest in peace to those 3 wonderful chickens. Pelipaneche with the sweetest, kindest eyes, and Latte was just a sweet, innocent young boy, smart, and Cass was like a dominant, handsome, great boy in so many ways. I was gonna keep him and prevent him from even having to do a survival challenge because he just looked so cool, green on his black, and he was just such a dominant boy. But he also attacked me once, and because Vangare lived, then Cass also had to do his survival experience, and fortunately I haven't seen him since. But vinegar's hanging in there. Right now I'm attempting to do the plumbing for this drain, which I got the parts for at Home Depot, but then it turns out I had the wrong parts, but then I had this other part here already, and then I had this other angle 2-inch piece here already, so I had 2 clutch pieces, and I should be able to get this all together. Alright, plumbing is complete. Now for some combination of foam, panels, Aircrete to fit it all together and try to reach the goal of a mortar layer on top by the end of the day. Again, it seems impossible, but gotta have goals. So I did a good bit of prep in this corner with the foam, finishing that off, and now I've got one big piece to extend there. Got the drain level in place and notched around that, so, and then all of those notches in there, so hopefully this piece will fit in there and I can finally have breakfast. I'm having trouble getting it in. It's just a little bit too big. Woohoo, I got it in. It just took a bit of finessing. So I think that's the last thick piece of insulation of that length for here. I got some foam on it and ready to break before coming back to it. To be honest, my goal seems completely impossible, unfeasible. I don't even know if I'll be able to get the panels on before the end of the day, but anyways, I'm sticking to it. And by the way, when I say breakfast, it is 2 p.m. So I did a satisfactory amount of insulation block and foam work over here in level 2. And now I'm about to start with Aircrete. Goal is to get 2 batches of Aircrete done. There's no way I'm going to be able to remesh and mortar this by the end of today, but just getting 2 batches of Aircrete on there will be great for today. And when it rains, I'll deal with that later. It all disappeared, which means I gotta make a lot more. That's what it looks like after 2 batches. Very unimpressive, but the underbelly ate both batches, so it could take more. I could probably try for more, but we're out of power here. So the first thing I might do for the next week's project is hook up more panels. But that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Also out of phone memory, and I'm out.